Welcome to my film review of Midsommar. So it's not summer, it's sommer. Doesn't really matter how you spell it, I guess. But anyway, Midsommar. What the hell is this movie all about? Well, first thing I'm going to say is stop if you're thinking about going. This movie is not for everybody. As you may or may not know, when I judge whether I want to go and see a movie or not, I very much judge a book by its cover. I don't care about seeing trailers, I prefer not to. I definitely don't want to read the synopsis because I don't want to know too much about the story. I just want to know, is this the kind of movie that I'm likely to like? And if so, I'm going to go and see it. Only if it's something I know I definitely won't like, I'm not going to watch it. So I pretty much watch as many movies as I can at the cinema. I've got the Cineworld Pass, so I can go as many times as I want for the same monthly fixed fee. So I saw this was an 18. That's the first thing that's going to get my attention. You don't see many 18s these days. So I thought, great, might be a horror, might be some gruesome stuff going on. What's it about though? So I read the first little bit, saw that it was saw the word festival. I love going to festivals. All my life, I love going to music festivals. So I thought, great. I'm definitely going to go and see this. I saw it on the first day it was released, the very first showing of the first day. There's quite a few people in there. And when we left, there was a very consensus feeling between everyone of, what the hell have we just watched? Almost laughing at kind of how crazy pants it was. I'm afraid I didn't like this movie. And I think this movie took liberties. It's on for 2 hours and 27 minutes. Now, I don't mind. I love Lord of the Rings. They're my favourite movies. 4 hours, including the extra features, including the extra scenes. It's not even long enough. Be on longer movie. So I don't mind a long movie. But I know some people, if you go to a movie that's over 2 hours, look at Marvel movies. Not many Marvel movies are on this long. This is 2 hours 27. And you could have cut easily half of the movie out. It didn't do much. It didn't add much to the movie. This was a weird movie. So let me give you a bit of a clue as to what this movie is about. And I'm going to try and explain it in the way from what I was expecting and why I'm disappointed. Because therefore, if you expect differently, you might watch this movie and really enjoy it. Now, it was an 18. It was about festivals. And it was to do with Sweden, Scandinavia. Part of the world that I absolutely adore. I come from a place near the Lake District in England, and the Lake District is like a mini Scandinavia. I've got a friend from Norway, love going out to that country. The people are fantastic, amazing. So, the fact that it was set in Scandinavia and to do with a Scandinavian midsummer festival, now not a music festival, but a cultural, spiritual festival. I thought, this is great, this is right up my street, And because of my interest in that kind of stuff, I enjoyed the first hour of the movie, which I wouldn't be surprised if most people thought was utterly tedious and boring. The movie kicks off with a little bit of relationship stuff going on between a guy and a gal. I can relate to that, we've all been there. And I thought, this is quite good. I straight away I'm relating to what's going on in between the characters. I'm liking it. I like the characters. I'm enjoying this movie, even though nothing is really happening. So they end up going to this festival in Sweden, and it's very long and drawn out before anything really peculiar starts to happen. Just your typical hanging at a festival kind of stuff. Politeness, friendliness, people hanging out, doing stuff, and I enjoyed that as well because it was lovely, some sunshine weather, beautiful scenery in the middle of fields, and again, all this stuff I loved. Yet it was utterly boring. That's the crazy thing. It was midday when I watched this, so I was quite relaxed, I knew I had 3 more amazing movies to come, so I wasn't bothered if this was a bit of a letdown, and I was totally relaxed about it. I'm sat there chilling, waiting for it to get going, thinking, once this movie kicks in, some crazy, trippy, spooky stuff is going to go down. It's an 18 certificate, it has to. No, it didn't. It was an hour before the first remotely weird thing happened, and then it was an hour and a half before you got another blast of, ooh, that's a bit trippy, that's a bit weird. An hour and a half, that's a long time to wait. If this was a horror movie, if you don't have that within the first half hour, I'm slating it. I'm saying this is the worst horror movie ever. I patiently waited an hour and a half for anything remotely, gruesome-y type thing, weird, to happen in this movie, and I was cool with that, knowing that I still had another hour to go for the movie to really get going and really go crazy. And it just didn't. When it tried to go crazy, it just became absurd, I'm afraid. And here's the story. I didn't know that this was supposed to be a black comedy. So when I came out, I actually spoke to a girl about this movie, asked her if she'd seen it, and she said her friends had, and I explained how I thought about it, and I was like, when it was trying to do stuff that was freaky, crazy, the stuff that would be the 18 certificate content, when it got to that kind of stuff, it was so absurd. It was almost as if it was trying to make you laugh. A little bit like a comedy sketch from, something like Life of Brian or something, Monty Python. Monty Python, that was what I was thinking of. And it was just like, are you trying to make me laugh, or are you trying to make me scared? Are you trying to freak me out? I didn't really know what was going on. That's because I didn't know it was a black comedy. And when she said it was a black comedy, after me saying it was as if they were trying to make you laugh, I was like, the penny kind of dropped. And I thought maybe I would have enjoyed the movie differently if I'd have known that. But the weird thing is, I still kind of enjoyed it. The first hour and a half that was just kind of like nothing really going on, I really enjoyed that because it was to do with stuff that I was personally interested in. And then when it got to the freaky, it was just like, what? Tutting to yourself thinking, oh, this is crazy. This is just absurd. Kind of thing, if you watched it with your parents, you would be so embarrassed. You'd be like, oh my God. And I think the movie really took liberties being on this long. This should have been, for what it was, the craziness it was trying to pass over, a 90-minute movie would have been fine, and it could have probably got away with it. But to be on for nearly 2.5 hours, you need to have a really captivated audience that are going to give your movie the respect and the time that you want for them to be focused and involved in what you're trying to put across to them. And it just didn't have enough to be a 2.5 hour movie. And then the very end bit, I was like, right, okay, something at the very end is going to get me. And I kind of almost saw what was coming. And then the very end was just like, what, is that it? Is that it? That was ridiculous. It was utterly, utterly bizarre. So, I'm afraid this movie definitely isn't for everyone. I think this will be out of the cinemas within 2 weeks. So if you want to see it, be quick, because as soon as the word spreads, I don't think there's going to be too many people seeing this at the cinema. It's going to dive, and we've got something big coming out, haven't we? In Lion King. Lion King's coming out soon, and that's going to end Midsommar. I'm sure it will. I relate this a little bit to Neon Demon. I don't know if you've seen the movie Neon Demon. I watched that and just thought, what the hell was that? I wanted to walk out several times. I wish I did. I think that's the worst movie I've ever seen, Neon Demon. I just didn't get it. It was just a bunch of nonsense thrown together. And in many respects, that's what Midsommar feels like. Just a bunch of kind of meaningless nonsense thrown together, and you're supposed to buy it. I don't know how this would go down in Sweden, whether they would see it as a funny thingy or see it as quite disturbing. I don't know. So if there's any Swedish people listening, please let me know, what did you think of this movie? Because I thought maybe I'd be a little bit offended, maybe. But hopefully you saw the funny side. Not that I found it particularly funny, but then I didn't know it was supposed to be funny. So, weird movie. It didn't work for me. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 10. It would be a lot worse. It would be like a 2 out of 10 if it wasn't for the first hour and a half that I really enjoyed, where it was to do with, Sweden, relationship-y stuff, festival-y stuff, culture, spirituality. Kind of enjoyed that. But then once it tried to freak you out, it was done with me. So maybe you'll be different now that you know it's a black comedy. Don't think there's anything else to say about this movie. other than I wouldn't go and see it at the cinema. There's no reason to see it at the cinema. Just wait till it comes out. You're not going to get any special cinema, special effects or anything like that. It's just average. You can watch it at home on your TV and enjoy it just as much. So don't stress about going to the cinema. And if you do, buy one, get one free at the most. And you're going to have to be quick because it's not going to be out of the cinema long. Just wait till it comes out on Netflix would be my recommendation. Not worth paying. So I hope you found that useful. Oh, it's definitely not a popcorn muncher. There was a person in the cinema so rustly that another member of the public actually leant over and asked them to shush and be quiet, because there was just so much quiet scenes going on that you could hear every rustling of her crisps. So this is a pretty quiet movie. Don't take any noisy stuff into the cinema. Ice cream, and that's about all you can get away with. It's not a popcorn muncher, and it's not a movie you need to see at the cinema. Sorry, but it's not. But if you enjoyed it, please let me know and tell me what other movies it made you think of that you also liked, because I can't think of another movie like this other than Neon Demon, in the sense that didn't get it, thought it was pants, but I like parts of this movie that they probably didn't expect you to like, with the bits that I did like. The bits that were the 18 certificate stuff wasted on me. It was just crazy, weird stuff that I wasn't expecting. Although I did like certain parts of it. Splat. Some bits were cool, but most of it, nah, sorry, didn't work. So, thanks for listening. If you're going to go and see this, please let me know what you thought, because I would love to know if anybody out there really enjoyed this movie. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 10, and I'm being generous. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next review. Goodbye.